Welcome back to Crash 3, mildly unintelligible version.
Mildly unintelligible?
Well, rather than being insane. Hey, gotta come up with a second version somehow to sell those PlayStation Vita units.
Oh, don't say that.
Trade between Crash and Coco.
I think at the time of this recording, I think it's like being converted to the Vita is all but dead. I mean, we've known that for years.
I was gonna say, was it like just recently?
Well, I mean, they're still sort of releasing things for it. Like, the new version of Catherine has a Vita version, but...
Yeah, but I think it's on its last legs, and they officially confirmed that.
That is unfortunate. It was great hardware.
I know, that's what angers me about it. You know, it's a lovely handheld. It's just that there's nothing for it, unless you're an RPG guy. Oh, wait, I heard that before. It was called the PSP.
Yep.
Well, the PSP died for another reason, is that, yes, piracy can hurt a system sometimes, guys. Come on.
That's the Dreamcast.
The Dreamcast all over again.
Kinda.
It's like every time someone's trying to defend piracy, they'll always pretend like there's nothing that can possibly go wrong with it. And that people who decry it are just
Okay,
being...
Bubsy, calm it down.
But... yeah.
I still don't have a Vita, though, to this day. Because, again, it's just... There's nothing I want on it.
The only game I had any interest in, I also got a PS4 version, and that was Gravity Rush.
Yeah.
As far as games that were like specifically for it, anyway.
Well, there was an Uncharted game that was specific.
Yeah, but you can play Uncharted on PS3 and PS4, and probably on better versions of it too.
Games. So there was a specific
What
Uncharted
was the name
game
of it?
called, I think, Golden Legacy, something like that.
Golden Legacy, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's impressive to see a full-fledged Uncharted type game on a handheld. That's for certain. But I don't personally own a Vita anymore. I own a PS TV, but wouldn't you know it, like, one of the main reasons to own a Vita would be the Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles remake / compilation. And it doesn't work on the PS TV.
Of course not.
Like, it's Persona 4 gone golden on the
I
PS.
should correct that statement. It works, but like the other games that quote unquote are not compatible, it's locked out unless you crack the system. And they are really good about updating the system so that old cracks don't work anymore.
Firmware updates.
Yeah.
They tried to do that with the PSP, but it's like after every firmware update, there was always like a week later a new crack.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's not quite as easy with the Vita and the TV, unfortunately.
I'd imagine so, but there's always a way.
Yeah.
People will find a way.
Yep.
It's like the logic behind locking out most of the games is that they're heavy on motion and touchscreen use. But the funny thing about that is if you use the PS TV with a PS4 controller, you have a touchpad and motion controls, and they're compatible with the system. They do all the things that the touch stuff and motion control stuff should do. So it's possible to play games like that. It's awkward, but it's possible. What's that trophy for? Not a scratch, give it time. What's it for?
That was for
getting into a death route.
Death route.
Oh, getting your first death route, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was this your first time through the game after getting the remake?
Yep, because, well, again, I know these games.
Fair enough.
I didn't really need to practice. For the most part, anyway, as we saw in some other levels.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Throw that little safety net under there.
my first run through Stormy Ascent was my first time through, but that was only because it had just come out while I was recording the playthrough, and I wanted to work it into the playthrough. So I recorded myself playing it the first time.
Know my pain.
I mean, there are games where you really don't need to practice to get decent runs through for these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Because you just all have history with them. Like, you can ask, if you need me to record Mario World at any time, I can record that game, no problem.
Yeah, if it's like Mario World or a handful of Metroid games, sure thing. I can pop it in and just play like I played it yesterday. But there are some games where I thought, like, I used to play this game a lot when I was a kid. It's been a while since I played it, but I'm pretty sure I can pick it back up. And it's like, oh, wow. It's like I'm playing it for the first time again. Fuck me.
It depends on the type of game and how long. And warping. Warped.
I had that
Warping.
problem with probably really awful platformer on the Sega Genesis that I rediscovered fairly recently. It was this Ronald McDonald game with 4 main stages that I had.
Wow.
It was one of my first.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was
Really?
It was one of the first Genesis games I ever owned, so I wanted to play it for nostalgia, if nothing else.
That's the one where he shoots like sparkly rays out of his hands.
I think that might be something. Although my clearest memories of it.
The fuck was that about?
Standing on big ass water spouts and train and jumping into enemies that are above me off screen because fuck good platforming design apparently.
Are you sure you weren't playing Bubsy?
No, it wasn't Bubsy, but it had that same problem. Oof.
At what point do I start eating McDonald's?
I actually.
There's a Taco Tuesday yet.
Like, the nerd hasn't done the game at all, but for some reason, there were clips of it in one of his intros, and that's how I remembered it, and decided, hey, I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look up a ROM and see if I still like that game, because I remember liking it when I was a kid. And that's how I discovered that I was dumb as a kid.
We were all dumb as kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you're all dumb as kids because you just can only play what you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got it for the weekend because your parents rented it for you, and
You're going to play it.
you got to get the most out of it.
Well, you know, I had an attachment to McDonald's, kids' meals, and Ronald McDonald at the time.
Yeah.
One of the things that I remember when I was a kid is like around the time Batman Forever came out, there were these mugs that
Yes, I do too.
Yep.
yeah, and I think
They were made of glass. They were like actual semi-glass.
Yeah, actual glass. Yeah.
yeah, and my dad worked night shift at the prison. He was a correction officer, so he would occasionally get me a Happy Meal on his way back from work in the morning. So I think I got the mug for Two-Face, I think, or something. One of them. I got one of them that way. It was just one of
It was
those
either
things
Riddler or Two-Face, because I don't think anybody got Batman.
It's just one of those things that stuck in my brain because I had a nostalgic attachment to it.
Well, no, or you got one of those two, or you got Robin. No one got Batman. You don't want glass version of Val Kilmer's mug staring back at you.
Good. I remember the Batman Returns product tie-in for McDonald's. The commercial that went with it too. Like he was going to McDonald's for a drive-through. I was like, what the fuck is Batman going to McDonald's for? I don't know.
Even the superheroes gotta eat.
I guess, but isn't that what Alfred's for?
Alfred isn't always there. He's on the job. He needs.
Yeah, yes. What is he
food
doing?
now.
Yeah, what life does he have?
Now,
Yeah.
I loved this about the original game, and I'm glad they kept it here. How, like, each of the spears has its own individual hitbox, so you can walk between them.
Yeah.
And they're technically not active until they're fully erect. Oh yeah.
It's just a nice attention to hitbox detail that you didn't often see in PlayStation era games.
Yeah, because the earlier games would just make it like an entire box.
Yeah, it would have
that hurts you
been a
on
death
contact.
zone.
Yeah, the wood itself hurts. Crash.
Somehow.
For anyone who doesn't know, Ryan had to actually backtrack very,
Yep.
very painfully through that level.
Very, very slowly, yes.
We already did that for the previous Crash Warp playthrough, so he's
Trimming the fat. That's what the N-Sane Trilogy does, and the commentary. But we'll leave a few deaths in there. Gotta pad the video timeout.
YouTube red money.
Yeah. Whole 3 cents.
Gotta love that Star Wars discussion we did.
Yeah.
Motorcycles.
Road Crash. I get that now. It's a pun on Road Rash. And Crash. See, it's a
Yeah, I
double
was gonna
pun.
say, or it's indicative of what's gonna be happening to you in these damn levels.
Wasn't Road
Yeah, like,
Rash one of
see,
the...
whoops.
Fuck.
Normally, if you angled it right, you could just glide over that part of the pit.
Yeah.
Were you going to ask if Road Rash was one of those motorcycle racing games? Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was one of the old school ones, I think, right?
Yeah. I only played it on, believe it or not, 32X.
Really?
A long, long time ago.
Better to
Oh.
experience that on 32X than Doom. But
And they call particular detail to the sign this time.
by
instead
having
of
a
just you
bird
try-
crash into it. Yeah.
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 Heck, crash into it.
Road crash, bird crash, road bird.
Now,
Bird.
Doesn't actually involve
for all someone might complain about the controls, there is one thing that makes this level a fuck lot easier. You can see where you're going.
Yeah.
Or you can see what's up ahead.
Yeah. It's dope.
The draw distance in the jet ski levels in the original game was fucking terrible. Things would just pop in like 10 yards away. And that's fine in the linear jet ski levels. It works just fine in those levels, but this is Hot Cocoa. Hot Cocoa is this big open circle around a volcanic island, and it's non-linear. You're just supposed to find what you need to break the nitro crates to win. So it's an explorative jet ski level.
Also, all the fuses are lit, and they'll never explode over time.
Speaking of jet skis, I need to go back and try Jet Moto one of these days. I seem to remember that being fun. I think.
Do you remember playing it at all?
I played Jet Moto 2's demo.
Oh, okay.
A lot of games back then I only ever played in demo form because I couldn't buy my own games.
The only jet ski game I remember ever playing was Wave Race 64.
You know, I kind of lost faith in my ability to ask my parents for games when I asked for Final Fantasy VII and got Final Fantasy IX. I mean, I'm happy I got Final Fantasy IX, but
I was about to say, you got the better game.
it's still the wrong game. So, like, when I wanted the new Resident Evil, I was afraid I'd get some wacky spin-off or something.
And sometimes at least a happy accidents. You know, the year I asked for Metal Gear Solid 2, I got Onimusha instead. And I love that. So.
How do you get those confused?
I don't fucking know. I guess they couldn't find it. Metal Gear Solid 2 was the hot game of that year. So, I don't know, maybe it was limited stock, but they found Onimusha instead. I don't know why they thought of Onimusha. But whatever, it happened, and I'm happy they got it for me.
Yeah.
And now you're going to be forever disappointed that there's never going to be another one.
Don't say that out loud. Hey, Metal Gear got survived.
Hey, John, I was trying to jinx it.
No, you can't. You're not Ted. He's not here.
God damn it.
Now, the jet ski levels can be devious at times, not just with the stuff that you gotta jump to get, but the stuff that you gotta submerge underwater to get. One of the most
You have to hold up for, by the way.
fucking annoying things that these levels sometimes do is hiding a box slightly underwater, so that you have to land on the water in that precise spot, and the momentum of your jump carries you downward.
You have to hold forward to do some of them.
Yeah.
So that you nosedive towards it as well. And in the N-Sane Trilogy, I think they're harder to see. Because of the better graphics.
Because the glare on the water.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes lack of realism makes things clearer.
How strange. Yeah, like, you can see plants under the water, but it's like, what's the point? You can barely make them out.
Sometimes games do get a little ambitious with artistic graphical styles, though. Like, I remember one of the standout examples of that is Deus Ex Human Revolution, where the original release of the game had this horrible orange filter over everything. So
it's Daredevil on Netflix.
it was worse.
Oof.
It was way worse.
All right.
But,
Nope.
That's
Wrong
one
angle.
of the jumps I was talking about when I said that you could angle your jumps better in this game to get around annoying nitro boxes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Selectively.
Getting the gem in this level is something.
Annoying and tedious.
It's about the thing you have to keep in mind is spacing out your checkpoints.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't get them all at once, like Kid John did, because Kid John's an idiot.
Yeah, because it's an open level, the checkpoint is more there to save your box progress than to save your level progress.
Well, I mean, the only reason you're coming into the stage is to get all the boxes. There's no crystal here.
Yeah. I mean, that makes the relic in this level kind of puzzling design-wise, because, like, all you need to do is rush to the nitro box and rush back to the exit. There's no navigation to be found, so as long as you know where the nitro box is, you're going to get a good time. Or die trying to do it too fast. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Particularly more with this version of the game rather than PS1 because of, again, how wide your turns are. And because getting the nitro box here requires that you launch off of the ramp at an angle.
Like this. Oops.
Yeah. Coco looks so angry at this game.
Well, get a better jet ski, Coco. What happened to your old one?
Good question. Whose jet ski is this? Is it hers?
Who knows? Okay, now I'm just saying, fuck it. I'm gonna get the nitro detonator first before going back to get those boxes.
Yeah. One of the things I like to do when I do this stage is just go right straight to the nitro thing, and then get a checkpoint, then deal with the boxes.
Yeah, that was the only thing I have to deal with are bombs and sharks.
Only bombs and sharks.
Huh.
The sharks are the least threatening thing in this stage.
But still the most intimidating to approach.
Ooh.
Because I had a couple of times in the original game, actually, where I was like on near the side of it, and it did an immediate 180 and chomped me to death.
Were you just in its path, or?
I guess, maybe. I don't know. Rest assured, I never let it happen to me again.
Now they were the precursors to the lurker fish in Jak and Daxter. So.
Get the Bandicoot shark repellent spray.
Back in my day, we called them Boss Bass.
Big Bertha.
Do you get it?
Big
Precursors?
Bertha, yeah. Oh, I get it. It's fucking funny. Laugh, everybody.
We need to get to Jak 2.
Yeah, we do. Well,
who recorded Jak last time?
Well, I recorded Jak 1.
Ryan recorded Jak 1.
Oh. Is there a reason for the hesitancy?
What do you mean, hesitancy towards?
Jak 2?
I'll probably...
No, I think Lewis signed up for it, but...
I'll probably do Jak 2, yeah, but I don't have the PS4 version yet, and if I'm going to record it, I might as well do the best version. It's like... the moment I get a new Elgato, I find out that they're releasing the Devil May Cry trilogy on PS4, and I'm like, well, I might as well wait for that now, too.
Did you hear they announced a new Devil May Cry game? A mobile trash game for China.
Yeah, and you know what? That's probably like one of those quasi-official Chinese mobile releases that they sort of have the license for, but is not going to be good or even overseen by Capcom at all.
It's like Sonic Unleashed Mobile.
My thought was like Naruto Online.
Oh, there's a name we haven't brought up in a while.
How does this still make a clear crunch noise underwater?
Like, I think, like, there are a lot of trash mobile games from the Asian market in particular, because I think in some of the countries, copyright law is a lot flimsier. Like, they can get away with
to put it nicely.
Yeah, you mean how China knocks off literally everyone to the point where I'm surprised anyone does business with them?
Well, they have...
No, Ryan, no!
They have a large enough population that people need them to make money, so I guess they think they can do what they want.
I guess.
Our knockoff Crunch Bandicoot is clearly not very subtle in what it knocks off, but because there are so many people in China, it makes a profit anyway, and actually does sell better than N-Sane Trilogy. Crunch Bandicoot.
Well, there's already Crunch in the series, so...
Yeah, I know, but his last name ain't Bandicoot.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassing high school name.
This level is really slow-paced when you're going for the boxes.
Yes, it is. Well, what do you...
There's a reason I fast-forwarded through the fucking thing in the original commentary.
Well, what do you mean when you're going for the boxes? You're 90% of the reason you go into this level is to get the box gem.
Yeah,
the other 10 is when you come back for the relic.
I know. It's awful. I mean, I like the volcano. The volcano looks really nice, actually.
No!
Ooh. At least you got a checkpoint. You got the steam rising from the water where the lava's coming down. That's really a nice touch. I like that.
Take me, lava. I don't want to be here anymore.
I guess that answers a question I was about to ask. Does the lava hurt you?
No.
It should.
I don't think it does. Yeah, there should be a considerable amount of bedrock around the island there, but there's not.
70 out of 70.
But, it's not like volcanic eruptions and lava flow doesn't happen underwater. It's just...
No, it's all that fact. I think they're more dangerous underwater because you can't see that shit.
Yeah.